We're talking away from politics.
Yes, politics is hot.
Politics is hot, but let's look at something else that's more future, developmental, build up to a brighter tomorrow. Education. Now, governments keep talking about their policies, education policies, and how they can't handle it alone. I mean, in the month of May, we had, May or thereabout, early part of last year, we had a conference that focused basically on education and the role the private sector can play in education.
In all of that.
In all of that, both individuals and private sector. Some private concerns have stepped in to take up certain certain programs that would aid the educational sector
Development,
in
yes.
the country, and some of them have started even before the conference they had early last year, and that we're talking about the Schlumberger Excellence in Education Development Program, volunteer-based non-profit education program of Schlumberger Limited, the world's leading provider of technology and services to the oil and gas sector. Now, the SEED, Schools Science Project Challenge, is an opportunity for employees, volunteers, educators, including teachers and parents and mentors, to share their passion for education with students of primary age, between age 10 and 18. But don't worry, I don't have...
Yes, you don't have to stress
I don't have
yourself. We have all
yeah.
two,
We have
a gentleman and a
yes,
lady in the studio to tell us
more about this.
and
Mr. AKUAK. AKUAK is a group managing director of Schlumberger Oilfield Services, West Africa. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Valerie Edozian Nwogbe is a special projects manager of Schlumberger. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Nelta was struggling to tell us about the seed. You're here now. What is the seed all about?
Well, I'll say just a brief thing about it, an overview, and then I'll hand over to our MD to say more about that. So SEED stands for the Schlumberger Excellence in Education Development, and it's a program that was designed by SEED Limited to engage secondary school students and igniting them a passion for learning and loving science. And so here in Nigeria, it started in 1988, but we've done it in Nigeria since 2001. And the platform that we're talking about now is called the SEED School Science Competition, which was envisioned to sort of ignite a passion for science and invention in Nigeria. And I'll let Mr. Eke speak.
So you would say more, but let me just add to that. Why science?
Well, why science is kind of obvious. In the 21st century and a little bit going forward, for any group of people, be it organization or a country, to advance and be competitive and for the economy to grow, they'll have to participate in science. And participation in science will lead to development and technology, which will create a lot of innovation. So when you look at Nigeria being at the stage of development where we are today, and you have to think of what are the things that propel Nigeria as Nigeria goes forward. So learning of science, the ability to innovate and to solve problems around us. And when you talk about solving problems, I'm not talking about building a rocket to go to the moon. It could be looking at how do we deal with mosquitoes. It could be looking at if we have power problems in the rural areas, is there a way we could help a mother who wants to cook when there's no power to still be able to grind her spices to be able to cook food? So that's why science.
Okay. And, you know, all of this will permeate into other areas, I guess.
Of course. Maybe I might also step back and say, why did we want to go into the Science Project Challenge itself? And before I go into that, let me step back a little bit. Why education and why Schlumberger in education? Schlumberger, as he mentioned, is a leading provider of oil field services around the world. And something that stands us out amongst our peers is the effort that we put into research and development and technology, plus training. And as we wanted to interact with the communities where we work, the question was, which area do we want to engage the communities with? And we felt one area we could, to leverage from our strength in training, is education, to impact educational development. And in that process, we engage schools within the communities where we work, And we provide them infrastructure such as science laboratories, internet labs, and connectivity to scientists to be able to exchange information and learn. Now, sometime in 2012, we decided to build a program, the Schlumberger Seed Science Project Challenge. And I have to step back and tell you how the idea came about. When I left university in 1991, and I got hired by Schlumberger in late 92, and I went to a training center in early 93. And I saw a deficiency in me. And what that deficiency was I struggled to connect the sciences that I've learned in school, and I did very well, I graduated very well, with applications. And it took me a while to be able to understand the entire concept. The good news is I still did well and I excelled. But at some point, and I said, if I look back to the experience that I had, is there a way we could, at the early age, try to encourage secondary school students to not only learn science or mathematics and memorize it, or be able to write equations, but to be able to connect that knowledge to applications and practical terms, and to look at problems around them and see how to address it. So that's how the idea of the Science Project Challenge came about. And I'd also like to add that in Nigeria is the only country in the world where Schlumberger is running this program. And Schlumberger on the global platform is currently studying what we are doing with the hope to replicate this particular aspect of the seed across the world.
I was going to ask you, you're not bothered that between secondary school, primary and secondary school, and post-university, there won't be a gap? You're not bothered about that?
Well, if you start to address things at the university level, you've already lost the plot. Primary is very important. That's where you build a foundation. But the secondary, if you like, is where you really turn people to what they're going to be. And if you want young people to become innovators and creators, where you ignite the passion is in the secondary school level.
Okay.
And once you do that, they'll carry that forward as they go along in their lives.
Valerie, what long-term benefits does Schlumberger look to get from, because yes, it's corporate social responsibility, but there will be some perks for the company as well. So what long-term benefits are you looking to get from this?
Well, I think that the long-term benefit that is key to us is more beyond the company as a whole, definitely, and the nation, is that since we're here, Schlumberger has been in Nigeria for 62 years. And I think that we want to make sure that we give back to the country where we are in, and that there are enough people prepared to be able to take on the challenges of the years to come. I think Nigeria and Africa, we're at the cusp of development, and we need a chunk of people who are thinking a certain way to be able to handle the work that's needed and the work that's going to grow our economies over the next 20, 50 years. And I believe that this is our small way of trying to train and prepare the minds of the people who are going to do this job.
So you're looking at the local content now, building local content.
It's part of it, yes.
It's part of it.
You at the beginning, Nelta said something about the challenge being open to Schlumberger employees, volunteers, educators. How can people log on to this also and be a part of it?
Okay, I think something that needs to be added is that we actually run this program in collaboration with the Nigerian Academy of Scientists. And why the Nigerian Academy of Scientists? This is a group where we know has a body of professionals who already have a lot of knowledge in the area of science. And we needed people to mentor the students. So we are having our employees, and like we said, anybody can volunteer, plus the Nigerian Academy of Science to mentor the students and encourage them, because it's we call it a challenge because it's truly a challenge, right? And when you see some of the projects that these young kids develop, you'll agree with me that it's truly a challenge. Now, anybody out there who wants to participate in this program and is interested in being a volunteer is welcome.
Okay.
At the same time,
if I may cut in there. Now, these are some of the things that these youngsters have been able to put together.
Right.
Is there as a product of this mentorship program?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
The product of this. And
Right.
what do you do with these products that they bring forth?
Okay. Currently, as we are now, we are trying to protect the ideas that these children have come up with. So as we speak, Schlumberger is in the process of patenting these ideas. Of course, some of them may not be patentable, but those that are patentable will patent them so that we protect the ideas, because it belongs to these children and to the school, not to Schlumberger.
Okay.
And once that patent is in place, we'll also make effort to connect them to entrepreneurs who may be interested. You know, in the last challenge, a group of young people built a blender that is rechargeable.
Rechargeable blender.
You can charge it, keep it aside. If your power goes off and you need to cook, you use your blender. You don't really need to cry about PHCN.
Serious?
So that's a product, in my opinion, that is ready for the market as we speak. And we will protect their ideas and we'll connect them to entrepreneurs, and hopefully something will come out of it.
I see that. It looks like that's
a water tank,
okay, that's a water.
a bubbler, I saw.
Yeah, that may have been a,
I think it's a water purifier.
Okay.
Okay.
there were a broad range of projects actually.
And they built this
They built
on
it
their own.
On their own. And the one that actually won this year is highly inspiring. These children were able to extract hydrogen from water, and they were able to power a car with that.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Like the
From
hydrogen-powered
water.
car.
Yes.
But they didn't build the car.
No, they didn't build a car, but they extracted hydrogen from water, and they used that to drive the car. Now, you may say, can that car travel from here to Kaduna? Maybe the answer is no. But